Yeah. We live though. Hey, what's up, YouTube? Yeah.
Oh, hey.
I'm working this week, YouTube. I'm working. I was in front of this camera on Tuesday. I might be in front of this camera tomorrow, and I'm in front of this camera this evening. So with that being said, we ain't got too much time, YouTube people. We got the great Karlie from Drops Candies in the building. The soundboard didn't make it yet. It's in the mail. Yes. Oh yes. Oh, listen, I already know you decked out, sis. You don't gotta show off.
I know. People
But
might not know.
Right. So without further ado, Karlie, I'd like you to introduce yourself to the people. Let them know a little of who you are and whatnot.
Yeah. Joey and I met via Weedland, where you are.
Where all connections are made, by the way.
Where all connections are made, yeah, for sure. We met through the company that I work for. I work for Drops Candies, which kind of happened by happenstance. I've actually been in the hospitality industry my whole life. So I've been a chef and studied food. And then more recently, for the last 10 years, I've been in restaurant management. So that's my love. That's my passion. But with COVID and the pandemic, I was kind of forced out of that industry and really found myself in a spot that I needed to figure out something else to do. And that ended up being the cannabis industry, which has been a really fun transition for me. Kind of some similarities. I'm selling edibles. So there's some food involved there. And then a lot of human to human interaction and connection. And really, I love people. So it's been great to stay in touch and connected and, figure out how to support one another. And that right now is through cannabis and these lovely edibles. And it's been a fun journey. So that's a little bit about me. I'm originally from the great state of Montana, and I kind of traveled all over, lived a bunch of different places, but find myself in Portland, Oregon currently, which has been great.
Yes, and wow, Karlie, that was loaded. Yes. So first off, I want to definitely kind of double down on something you said on you expressing how kind of people friendly you are. I definitely got that from the very first conversation we had, and that's definitely a lot of what made it easy for me to kind of transition it. Like, hey, I would love to have you come through. Just chop it up a little bit. It's definitely a certain energy that comes with it. In that, sometimes, and hey, at your leisure, feel free to pop in and see some of these the older episodes. But like, a lot of it is just the vibe, and the conversation. And look, you had said something really interesting that I actually did not know, that you were in the hospitality in or whatever. So to me, I'm like, man, I have like 20 questions already. I hope you got 21 answers, because man, they questions coming. So
careful what you wish for.
From that real quickly, sorry, what did you say?
So careful what you wish for.
Oh man. Oh, stop it, Carl. Karlie, stop playing. It's how you sell all these edibles, Oh man, how could I hold up, sis? Hold up. I got something for you.
Yeah, what the fuck? There you go.
Look, you see, it was an arm's reach away. I'm telling y'all, man. And real quickly, let me get into this. So I threw on this lovely hat, because Drops, fucking love them, man. This is no fluff. I'm not. Hey, YouTube, I ain't getting paid by them. I ain't sponsored by them. None of that. It's just when the product good, you gotta speak on it. You know what I mean? Because it's a lot of people not doing it right out here. And we ain't gonna mention no names because this ain't that type of party. But all I'm saying is that Drops is doing it right, man. I mean, come on, man, with this Clifford Red hat, come on, man. How am I not gonna wear it, man? Come on, man. And it's like, like I said, they make a really good gummy. And they venturing off too. So hey, peoples, YouTube, if y'all I don't know, y'all are y'all in other states out? I know y'all in Washington, right? Karlie, this for you.
Oh, us? I thought you were asking like are you
in
Washington? Oh, okay. No, just currently in Oregon right now. So I mean, I gotta come across the border to get these little babies. But
And believe me, they so good, Karlie, they do 99%. Because I promise you, I'm the one that looks at these IDs, and I promise you, they got a big, nice tree in like the bottom right quadrant, and it says Washington in big bold letters. They're gonna keep crossing that bridge for drugs and all the other nice and dope things that Oregon has to offer. But with that being said, YouTube people, if y'all in Oregon, y'all pull up to the dispensary, you know, y'all visiting, whatever. Ask the button if this drops on deck. You know what I mean? It most likely is. I mean, these people, we could, if we put a map of everywhere that drops is in Oregon, like it wouldn't be no empty spots. You understand what I'm saying? It'd be all hits, no misses. So
yeah.
You know, with that being said, just shouts out to the good people that drops. You know, good people like Karlie. You know, I've definitely, you know, from the moment I came in the industry, that was literally the very first edible I was introduced to. It was that one, the drops, and then it was Canada Crispy. Those are the first two that I actually, you know, me being, you know, little stoner, me being from New York, you know, those are the first two edibles that I was really, really messing with. And drops is to this day, you know what I mean? You know, you showed a little something, but you know, like I said, look, come on, man. Come on, man. We doing this.
Yeah. There we are.
Hold up, big swallow. Like I said, man, listen. I mean, hey, drops. Y'all already know if y'all want to plug me in. Y'all already know, man. Hey, my fee is free right now. Y'all better get right. Yeah. Anyway, so like I was saying, you know, it's just like I said, I'm of the school of anybody doing something right. It gotta be spoken on. It gotta be flowers thrown, because it's a lot of perpetrating. It's a lot of kind of impurities in the game. You know, a lot of like the almost the human aspect is almost like, and then with drops is like, it's here, you know. Hey, listen.
So many people don't know about edibles, right? Like, if people go into a dispensary, I think it's more common for people to say, or for customers to say, like, hey, where's that flower from? Like, how's it grown? What farm is it from? Like, you know, wanting to know a little bit more information about it. Whereas with edibles, I think it's very rare for people to say, hey, where was that cannabis grown? Where did it come from? And so it's not a question that's being asked very often. And I think for a lot of companies, it's a good thing that it's not being asked, because they couldn't tell you where it's coming from. It's usually a distillate or isolate, or, you know, a source from some bulk source, which is totally fine.
Which, hey, Karlie, you could speak freely, sis. You good.
Well, yeah, no, I mean,
I'm like, I literally felt you pause real quick, like, oh, let me not say this.
No, I'm not. I think that I love being part of an industry, like, and bringing each other up. I'm not about trying to put anyone down or throwing shade. I just truly feel like what we do is so special, which is pretty rare, and it's us putting live resin into our candies, which is, they're vegan, they're gluten-free, so we actually use a plant-based, well, instead of gelatin, which is animal-based, we use a plant-based pectin, which comes from fruit. And then, yeah, we grow all of our own cannabis out in Hillsboro, so anyone from the area would know it's just right over the hill from Portland, and farm everything. We use biodynamic applications, and, you know, have our own chickens and make compost, and really have like a super good pulse on the plants. And that's, I would say, the most important part of our edibles. And then beyond that, we make a live resin from it, which means immediately after we harvest the plants, we chop them down and then get them on dry ice and deep frozen within under an hour, and then process essentially a crude oil from that all year round, which is a full spectrum product. It's they call it the entourage effect, where, you know, you have so many other beautiful, important parts of the plant that is where all the magic lives in each strain. And we're not stripping anything away. We're not doing color correction. Right. We're not filtering it to a point that it loses its soul and it loses its vibrancy and really what makes it this magical plant that we know and love. And I think it's more about what we don't know about this plant right now than what we do know. And so by all means, we should leave more of the plant in there and active. And so that's kind of what we do. Everything strain specific, and live resin, and all of those other good things. And we really believe my boss, he's always felt really strongly that weed should be for everyone and accessible. So we always try to keep our prices at an affordable price, rather than just hiking up the prices and having people think it's a, high-end luxury item. It's really, it's for someone with $5 in their pocket, and everyone should be able to get high. So yeah, we want to weed for the people, man. Weed should be for everyone. Drops are for everyone.
Wow. So that is one of the points I was definitely going to touch on. I love that you brought that up. And that's literally the main selling point. And when it's pretty funny because I'm sure I've had to talk with you. I'm very vocal. You know what I mean? So I'll bring that point up, and people will look at me like, "Hold up, like." But I'm not really looking for a budget product right now. And it's like, well, I'm not selling you a budget product though. I'm selling you a product that should be 3 times the price of what it is. And like, you know what I mean? And it from there, it's like, yeah, they put all of this in it, but the price doesn't spike up. You look across the board, you would think they had it blessed by the Pope.
Yeah.
Price wise, you know what I mean? And that's really where the nuance comes in that, you guys actually do think about that, because I mean, without getting into too many details, like, it's an open market.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what, you could be the bottom of the bottom, the top of the top, the shit gonna sell itself. Let's keep it a stack. And with that being said, the fact that keeping that in mind and the prices are still valid, it's like, okay, somebody here gives a fuck, as opposed to Joe Schmo over there claiming gluten-free or whatever, spiking up the price. It just, and that's really what I try to break down to the people when I'm pitching it. And they're like, it's almost like a something that clicks, because you could literally look at the one right here. You're like, wait, hold up. Why is this one $20 and this one's $10? But I'm getting both the same doses and all of that. Yeah. So it's like, hey, flowers for that, first of all. But that wasn't even the thing that did it for me. What really did it for me, and it might seem real trivial, but those doggone flyers. Those flyers were the lightest thing you guys could have done. Because in the end of the day, it's like, if you don't know a goddamn thing about it, you could literally read it with someone while you're, selling it or whatever the fuck, and you'll still be learning. You'll still be given the knowledge. That little piece of paper, that pamphlet, you guys, man, honestly, listen, I tag your peoples on Instagram, so hopefully they get a peep look at this. Listen, I need to know that that was to me, that was the most groundbreaking thing ever. Because it's all over the place, but
it's education, right? Like, I think that for so long we've put people in jail, predominantly people of Black and brown folks, which I think is a really difficult thing for me as a white woman to be in this industry and realize, like, okay, I'm in a business that's making money off of this industry, this cannabis industry, while a bunch of people sit in jail for lesser quantities of cannabis. Right. And so I'm sitting there driving around all of this cannabis all over Portland and all over Oregon. And, I would be lying if I said that that's not something that crossed my mind frequently. And it's conflicting, but it's also like, okay, we can't, we have to move forward in some ways. And I mean, it's go ahead.
I want to double down on what you just said, because literally, and I've literally broken it down to, like, at this point, it's like a philosophy for me. Like, there's so much shit that you can't do a goddamn thing about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But as people, we complain about them. And it's not focusing on one specific thing. It's a million things that we complain about every single day that we probably can't do shit about. So it's like, wait, hold up. So do we weep about the spilled milk, or do we wipe it up?
Yeah.
So in the end of the day, I do very much agree that no matter what, we got to keep going. And I also want to double down and say that it hits different to know that where it says drops and your name on it, they have people like yourself representing. Because what I got from that is that, I'm very aware, but we're going to take steps to go the other direction, though. because my heart is not where that weird stuff is at. Because I'm gonna say it's weird because it's weird to me. I don't know. It's weird stuff. But I'm gonna leave that weird stuff where it's at, but I'm gonna try to be here. And like I said, it speaks volume for a company like Drops to champion people like that, to, dare I say, employ people like that. Because in the end of the day, like I say, very few things go over my head. So while I'm in my comings and goings, even in the industry, whether going to another dispensary or just walking past another dispensary, like very few things is going over my head. So I'm looking at it and I'm like, wait, hold up. So I could either go into this business where they might have just put a team together to fill the store up, and but there's no knowledge base, and God forbid I got a simple question, there ain't no answer for it, or am I gonna go over here where there's like the humaneness to it? It's like, okay, I'm not gonna bore you and ask you a million questions, but goddamn, can I ask you a question?
Yeah,
if anything, and that's like where like the industry, I feel like it's such a lack of the discernment there. You know what I mean? Like, and don't get it twisted. Like, hey, listen, you never catch me saying nothing wrong about the commission, the industry, any of that in front of this camera. It's all God bless. You know what I mean? Because in the end of the day, I'm out here trying to make it too. So I could only say, but so I ain't gonna fuck up my promotions. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I also do think that it's a level of scrutiny that has to be put where there's that extra je ne sais quoi, like, every time you come in the shop, like, you're literally there for 30 minutes, and most of it you probably putting me on to something about your product. You probably putting me on to some knowledge, and I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Like, I could have thought it was just an edible. I could have thought, oh, it's just a fucking gummy. I mean, $6, it's cool, whatever. What the fuck? It's a gummy. But now, you be popping in there, and I'm like, Bill Nye the Science Guy. Like, I'm like, I got the chalkboard. I'm going up to the chalkboard, writing shit up. I'm like, man, like, this is real dope. And then on top of that, I'm like trying to recruit you to come to the podcast and shit. So and it's all love. It's never like, oh, I know that there's this underlying stigma, and nah, what the fuck, nah. And that's why, like, and that's why, like I said, I give the flowers, because to be at a mind state where what's going on, but let's keep it pushing, man, because what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do for real though? What I mean?
I think that too, like, I think my point for kind of going on that tangent was that we, this country really established, and many other countries as well, but really established a war on drugs, a war on this beautiful plant that is so beneficial for so many reasons. But, before it was legalized in some states, which, it is still federally illegal. So there's that whole, like, weird things happening as well that floats above us. But now we're able to start educating people. We're able to start studying this plan. We're able to start, like, learning things and having that information that we've had about so many other things in life, because it used to be taboo to either send to a lab and figure out what the fuck was going on with this plant, or even have these conversations in an intellectual way. And now I think we can talk and share information, and we can, as consumers, as with any industry, you can say, like, what do I want and what don't I want? Like the whole, and speaking to what you said about just, like, different dispensaries and different, you can walk into some that have you feel like there's a chip on their shoulder, or you feel like maybe you can't ask a question. But I think that transcends all industries, right? Like, you could go into a little, like, small business local restaurant that feels like home, that feels super warm, that feels like they're gonna, like, they want you to be there and they want to share everything that they are offering in this environment and experience they've cultivated. Or you'll go maybe to, like, a chain spot that you're like, there's no soul here, there is no, like, I am just to each his own. But I think it's really what you're seeking, and information is so fun. And I think knowledge in this industry has been a really fun thing for me to dive into. And I'm new to it, so I actually know less than a lot of other folks that have been in it for years. So,
and that's the thing. Honestly, that's a mind. Hey, listen, Karlie, if I could bestow any type of advice, whatever, if you remember anything from this, is that like keep that about yourself. You know what I mean? Because like I walk in there wet behind the ears every day. And every day I'm like astonished by stuff I'm seeing, stuff that comes in, new advances. Like you could open the Leafly page right now and refer to an article, and I'm gonna probably start doing that, man. I just don't know if it's like you got to figure out if you're right with the copyrights and all of that. But
yeah.
I do want to have like a kind of like a segment in these shows where I might read a couple snippets of an article on Leafly. Like these articles are crazy. Like the amount of knowledge. It's like, and then you're not only getting it from the article, you're getting it from, people maybe not literally or figuratively per se, but people you rub shoulders with throughout the day. You know what I mean? It's like it's crazy. Like, I started this podcast behind cannabis. Like, it's and hey, oh, listen.
Wait, what do you mean by that?
What you mean?
You started
like this podcast, like Hustle and Smoke. Like the idea was to like make it a platform about cannabis.
Yeah.
Every day, everything I'm learning, I'm like, now I'm thinking about like, man, now when I'm learning stuff, I'm like, oh, how am I going to integrate this into the show? Like, this and that.
That's what you did with me, right?
Oh man, listen, Karlie, I had to
in the best way. No shade there. Like that was
no, of course, but I'm just saying I had to sit down with you because it was some about your personality, like you, I could tell that if you were to walk into somewhere and they were to tell you, oh no, I'm good, I don't really need anything or whatever. Hey, listen, I feel you, but I might have these little pamphlets, hey, listen, we doing this right now. You gonna get that sale, is what I'm saying. And not because you were overbearing, not because you were some Wall Street suited up person. Nah, it's because you saw a moment to kind of extend the talk to skew it in your favor, and you did it. And listen, there's nothing wrong with that. That's literally that's why you work for Trust, and that's why I'm sure they're taking care of you. I'm sure of it.
My friend, I would not be that easy if I was doing this for a company that I didn't believe in, though. Like there's so much of that I mean, for me, I think that some people could do it for,
Listen, I don't get that
for things that they don't truly care about. But I think that it was pretty easy with this company because, I mean, I was a consumer and a customer of Drops before I joined the company, and I really didn't know what to expect. But since joining, I've only fallen more in love with the industry, more in love with this company, and then even more in love with the product. I mean, edibles were not a part of my life. I used to smoke a lot of weed in high school and college. It was like, a very large part of my life. And then edibles, was that?
The thing to do.
Well, but then I like kind of tapered off. And I was always very scared of edibles because I never knew what I was going to get. But Drops were like the one edible that helped me kind of get back into feeling comfortable eating weed. And they're great. There's like 10 strains, 10 different effects, and you can basically curate whatever you're feeling. Are you in pain and you want to go to bed? You need relief? Are you feeling active and you want to go on a hike? Do you want to watch a movie? Do you want to, like whatever it is you're feeling? And
real quick, I'm gonna go ahead and drop this disclaimer for the sake of the young lady in front of us. We are in no way or any way saying that y'all should take this for any kind of medicine. I'm not saying this stuff is gonna cure cancer or any type of. But what I will say is, it's making some motherfucking advancements.
Yeah,
I'm gonna let y'all do y'all research though. But what I will say in my personal experience is, I've replaced aspirin with those 4-to-1 CBD gummies. Yep, 4-to-1 CBD gummies and a joint. And that stuff works just as good as bare aspirin for me. Now, once again, I'm not advocating for you guys to try it. Y'all do what y'all want. Y'all grown.
Yeah,
y'all can't even listen. Y'all can't even get in the spot if y'all not 21. So don't play with me. Don't play with me, man.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think that we got to be careful about like me specifically, especially since
No, of course, yeah, go ahead.
I can't give any medical advice, nor do I am not a medical professional. I think that, you know, like you said, doing your own research, and if you have a medical condition, I think that there's a lot of applications that have proven to be really successful, whether that's insomnia or cancer or, you know, a bunch of different ailments, epilepsy, like all of those things have evidence and have tests and studies that we've now luckily been able to do research on, and that there are benefits there. I can't really speak to it myself, but I think that it is a pretty profound and special plant, and yeah, for a lot of people, medicine. But that's for y'all to do your own. Ask your doctor. Ask your doctor.
And listen, I'm gonna double down and tell you this, sis. I'm in the cannabis industry because there is not a PhD in my wall.
Yeah.
So let's get that out the way, YouTube crowd. Once again, do y'all research, man. Y'all grown and shit, man. If I hand you a drink, you just gonna drink it?
Yeah.
Come on now, man. Stop playing with me, YouTube. But all I'm saying is that, like you know, Karlie articulated, there's so much that's going on with cannabis. Like, cannabis is literally touching every single industry low key right now. Because you got the sector of people that are literally like opening weed restaurants. You got motherfucking medical people doing studies here. You got you know, the plant is always going to be smoked, so you got people smoking the shit. You got people that got medical cards like myself. Hey, listen, you know, I was gonna get me my medical card, baby. Hey, listen, that's all I'm gonna say. But you know, you got all type of shit going on, and it's like, how can one listen to somebody trying to say or champion the notion that, oh, it's just weed and, you know, it's this. It's like, y'all some idiots if y'all think that, man. Because it's like, listen.
It's fear-based, right?
No doubt about it. And also, you know, what I think mostly, because I could speak from my own personal experience, you know, growing up in New York. You know, when I first took my first toke, I was in, 19,
When was that?
18 or 19.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because real quick, I want to give a shout out to my boy Kev, man. My boy Kev got me high for the first time. Let me tell you. And Kev was a real good dude, man. He's still a good dude. Hey, man, I'm gonna catch up with you, bro. Much love to you. But yeah, man, I remember, you know, we had stepped out the, you know, at that point, you know, people were doing the lounge thing in New York, you know, so you know, young us, you know, we couldn't get into the club, so we go to the lounges. So you know, my boy was like, hey, man, you want to slide off real quick into the, I'm like, what the fuck is this? You know, it was a little snow outside, like, man, it was a whole scene, right? So, you know, and I'm like, whatever. I'll walk with him. Fuck it. You know, we took a smoke break. Man, I choked like a mother flower. I tell you what. And then when I tell you, like, it was like the weirdest feeling that I've never felt before. And you know it was real because, like, I had tried to, like, walk away. Like, you know, you post up somewhere, you walk away at some point, right? So I was at the walk away point, and I really slipped on like some thin ice. I was like, and what was crazy was like, I got back up and like I didn't even know what happened. Like I was so high, like I was like, man, like I'm supposed to walk back into the lane. Like, is the bouncer gonna say something? I'm like, I'm asking my boy all these. He's like, man, chill the fuck out, dog. I'm like, man, it's the fuck out.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And but you know, from there it was you know, it was obviously a lot more smooth sailing. I promise you that. But you know, I that story to me is so soulful because like now, you know, I would have never thought, you know, circa what 5-6 years later, you know, I'm selling it, I'm smoking it like a motherfucker. You know what I mean? It's a beautiful thing, you know. And I remember saying something like that, like back then, like you know, growing up, you know, you was doing your things on the side. You know, I was selling a little weed and shit. You know, hey, you know, it was an open market. What the fuck? Sure. You know, so I may or may not have took advantage of it. But you know, I remember thinking to myself, like, man, like I'm gonna do this for real one day. You know, because sometimes, you know, and just like when you know, I'm sure you being, you know, on your end of things, it's times where things just flying through the roof. It's times where, you know, y'all might be holding on to something for a little longer than usual.
Yeah.
And like, you know, different thoughts came with those times, but like, you know, things will be good. I'm like, man, I'm gonna do this shit for real one day. I have to. And it's like, but obviously, you know, you talk, you just say shit. And like now I'm like really doing this shit for real.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, now the way I'm seeing it, it's like, you know, it's tangible for me to have maybe even my own spot one day.
Absolutely.
You know, on a whole other level. It's like, wow, okay. You know, I just had to, you know, move across the country with my suitcase, you know, and
no big deal.
just do it. Go figure, right? It's like, man, like in a perfect world, you know, who would have thut that was the answer? Well,
I know.
You know, cannabis has been the answer, and like, you know, like I said, I'm constantly making new connections. You know, when I was speaking to you earlier, you know, I was saying how, you know, I hope one day we could network something where, you know, I could go to you guys' facility and see what's going on, you know, and you know, maybe you know what I mean? Like, yo, it would be surreal to me. Like I've you know, I had, and that's another reason why I'm so appreciative of this you know, this platform. You know, my very first and only to the date farm visit was with Local Variety. I don't know if you know the guys over there. Shouts out to all the cats at Local Variety, man. They've been, yo, they doing the work. You know what I mean? I've had multiple opportunities to look at what they got going on, and these are some real soulful brothers. You know, maybe some of them are literally brothers, but they cool, man. They cool. They getting it done, you know, and they putting out a quality product, holding down Northeast Portland, you know, local brand, you know, and like I said, the gentleman was gracious enough to let me see his operation, and like, you know, it was surreal to me. Like, you know, I felt like, man, like this is like doggone Cinderella and shit, and I'm dancing with the plants. I'm like, you know, hey, I hope y'all not looking right now because I'm about to make a move. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, I'm being real careful. You know, I might have moved the leaf real careful. He's like, yo, just fucking slap it, just move it out the way, man. It's just a plant. I'm like, brother, I've never been around this before. Like, what do you mean? It's not just a plant. It's like life happening. Like, imagine you walking into a maternity ward and it's just a bunch of babies in the room and stuff. And it's just, man, you're like, holy smokes, this stuff really happens somewhere, you know?
No, it's cool. I mean, so I'm hating hearing you say this right now because we're all outdoor and we just chop down all of the plants. So if you were to come out to the farm, there wouldn't be that much to see currently, unfortunately. But a couple weeks ago, and then next season, you should definitely come out. I mean, it's all outdoor. It's beautiful. It's in Hillsboro, and they're terraced like on down the hills like grapevines would be, because the owners of our company, my boss who lives and works out on the farm, they used to grow grapes for 25 years. And so basically they planted and terraced all of these cannabis plants in that same way. So it's really, really cool. It's super beautiful. And it's so funny that you say that because everybody that does come out to the farm is that kind of in awe, unless you're like super well versed and have seen a ton of different cannabis. Most people have
maybe if you're the kind folks at the Oregon Leaf, maybe you know what they do about farms, and that shit is just another day for you. But for me, I was like, man, I had my little Damian Lillard jersey on. I swear to God, you could watch the pictures on the gram. Like, I had my jersey on. I was like, ooh, I was letting the plants, you know, fall all over the shit. I'm like, bless me, plants. I need a good year. You know what I'm saying? It was crazy because all this time I'm like, wow, like, you know, a year and a half ago, I was in New York. You know, I might have been working a Walgreens job. You know what I mean? And shit was still taboo. You know, I was still looking left and right before I lit the J. You know, I've told the story a couple times. I know that there's people that were my neighbors, you know, because I used to live in mom's house. Go figure. And I'm sure they see me now like as if I was that kid sitting down on the stoop smoking a joint. And it's like, you know, the demonizing feel like, oh my God, this kid is smoking dope. It's like, get the fuck out of here, dude. You know, the way I always, you know, my stoner brain always articulated it is like, listen, I'm sure if I was to unexpectedly open a door that I was not supposed to open, I promise I'd see some shit way worse than some motherfucking cannabis smoking.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying is that
You know what I mean? It's like, man, you cast the stones, but in the glass house. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if you should do that. So and it's definitely.
And you know, I mean, I feel like, you love what you do. It's very obvious and it's super apparent. And from the first time I met you, it was clear that you're passionate about your job. You're super educated on it, and it's to me very similar. It's very similar to the hospitality industry, where you welcome someone. It's your home. It's your space. You're behind that counter, and people trust you. That so many people actually don't know what the fuck they're talking about when they walk into a dispensary, and they are scared, and maybe it's their first time, and they are trying to enter into this world that they have zero experience in, and they're looking to you to guide them, and luckily you're so genuine.
Sometimes.
You what?
Spoon feed them sometimes.
Yeah, but it's
you do it for the love of the game.
And you're a welcoming person. You're a comfortable person. You are, like I said, educated and wanting to give someone a really curated experience. And I think that's what sets you apart. And I think that's what, made our connection really important as well.
Oh, that's a super fact, sis. Let me tell you something. Like I said, we all had our times we were doing things, you know what I mean? And one thing I've noticed, being from New York is that, if you were selling some bud in New York, now you can do it legally. I've read up on that. You right now, if you wanted to, if by some stroke of luck you could get a license in New York right the fuck now, you could go ahead and sell right now. But what I noticed from the black market is, man, you sell somebody some bad weed and they'll be liable to come back on you, and that could mean a myriad of things. And that's literally my experience. So like, when it comes to that, I'm looking at people like, listen, you could tell me what you're trying to feel. I could tell you that this is how I felt when I smoked it. Hey, listen, viewers discretion advised. They say that before every Family Guy episode, right? Because they know they might drop some F-bombs, kids, but viewers discretion advised, it's all good. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, in the end of the day, like, people gravitate towards that because, like you said, it is a saturation. Like, very few times I've been to other dispensaries and I'm like, wow, this person has a PhD in selling bud. Fuck out of here, man. It's like some person that, maybe they didn't want to do, maybe they couldn't get hey, listen, and I don't say this with no malice. I don't, maybe they couldn't get like a restaurant job or something. So they thought, hey, let me get this license real quick and, start selling bud. And it's like, with me, that gets under my skin because, it becomes a misinformation thing. Now people are coming into the spotlight. You can't even pitch them a sativa now because they terrified of it. They terrified. And it's like, yo, hold up. So sativas is going to kill you is what you're saying. Okay, it is what it is. Somebody going to smoke the goddamn thing. It's like, it's crazy because all of that is like not only people's notion, but things that other people have reinforced into them as well.
Yeah.
You understand what I mean? If let's say, two people smoking the same strain could be like, oh no, this some fire, this some garbage. Yeah. Well, it's like, this is fire. Literally, it could be the same strain, two different people.
Yeah.
A million different results. So it's like, it gets to be just a tad bit annoying because it's like, man, like I'm really trying to genuinely pitch you some shit right here, and you're like, this is a team. Oh my god, no indica makes me so sleepy. Oh my god, yo, what about the indica that just chills you the fuck out?
Yeah,
what about the indica that you might want to, get into the ball. You know what I mean? What about those indicas? Like, yo, there's a million different indicas. It's like, and obviously I speak from a point of passion, and. I always hope that like through these episodes and just through my platform, like people could see that like, I ain't just selling weed. I ain't just smoking bud right now. It's like, yo, I might be doing a strain review. You never know. Like it's a bunch of things that's, there's always the front end and the back end. You know what I mean? So it's like in the end of the day, I speak with the passion because I know somebody listening and, in the end of the day, that's what I want to put out. I don't want people know when you just talking, when you just there. And I don't like to just be there. Like, what the fuck? I could be over there.
They try to fit, I think, their experience with cannabis into a box. And if they had a negative experience with a sativa, it's like, oh no, that made me go batshit crazy. And therefore I need to like swear off all sativas ever. And it's really just not about, it's like every strain is so different. Every person's body is different. The way we process and our endocannabinoid system, like
the curators are different. The cultivators are different. Like, man, listen.
Time and place. What did you eat that day? What was the setting?
Oh shit! Yes. What did you eat? Did you eat? Did you eat? Yo,
were you drunk? Oh, well, you were wasted, and then you smoked a bunch of weed, and then you're scared because you got the spins. Like, no shit, you know, like. I think people fail to recognize.
Oh my God, Karlie, I'm just saying, like, I can't be so candid behind the counter. I just be like, hey, what you want to feel? What flavor do you like?
Yeah.
It's like, which one has the highest purity? It's like, what the? Don't ask me that question.
Yeah.
Because it's like, man, like, it's just so much finesse to the game, like. And in a sense, like the only reason why I get passionate is because I know that I'm not just in a bland ass industry. Like I talk to some cats that wow me, have more energy than me about the shit, and I just be like, "Oh, my fault, bro. I didn't mean to call you a farmer. I'm sorry."
Yeah.
You know what I mean. You can have my lunch money if you want it, dog. It's cool.
Right.
And that, but that's passion though. That's the industry we in. It's like we're not in the industry where it's like. You might like it. It's like, man, can you sound like you know what the fuck are you talking about? Like, man, it's just it's so atrocious, man, and it just goes back to and obviously it's not much that could be done because it's more of a self, like oneself type of thing, but like it's such a one-track mindedness where like, oh yeah, I ain't making it in this, so I'm gonna just do that because I know I can get in.
Yeah.
It's like, yo, just do some shit, with some purpose or something, because, man, like, I'm just thinking, like, man, somebody gonna want to write something in my doggone tombstone, right? And hopefully they didn't write I was just existing.
I mean, I think for me, I mentioned it earlier, but I basically said so long for now, anyways, to an industry that I've known my entire life and like my passion in my career, which was food, and I studied food, I studied wine, I've been in restaurants forever. And so right now I'm not doing that. But I think it took taking a step out of that world to realize that even though I'm not doing that anymore, I can still be super passionate and put my whole heart and soul into something and work really hard and make these connections and find purpose in what I'm doing regardless. And like I said, I think it's so much more through those human interactions and personal connections and just like being able to talk to people and not have that ego and bring each other up in this industry. And I think that no matter where you turn in my last industry, this one as well, or really any industries in general, there's the cutthroat folks who are willing to like, put you down, shit on you no matter what. And I think it's more about bringing each other up and figuring out like to celebrate each other's differences and to celebrate what I do and have that be unique and different than what someone else does. And it's not about right or wrong. It's about what works for you and maybe what doesn't work for you. And then find that beauty and magic in those in-between spaces that maybe we aren't all the same, but we wouldn't want that anyways.
We could coexist. You know what I mean? And that's like across the board. That's always how I've looked at it. It's like, it's like you could walk this way and I could walk that way and we could never again cross paths. I'm okay with that. If it got to be that way, as opposed to, fuck this person, let me see how I could pull a rug from under them. And it's just like, it's just some corny shit, man. Cause at the end of the day, what people got to realize is that, they got to live with themselves, man. And it hit different when you got to look at it from the scope of, I wasn't of no value here. Like I put negative energy, out there.
Yeah.
And it obviously, not to get too deep, but like it depends on what is being said at whatever moment. But it's still something to account for. You know what I mean? And it's just it's I don't know. It's a level of discernment that is just not there these days. You know what I mean? Or if it is, it is, and if it's not, goddamn, it is not. Yeah. But what I wanted to ask you real quickly, now that it's fresh on my mind, is so you told me about the farm. You guys don't have like a separate like kitchen, or is it like, how does it work?
No, we do. So we have the farm, which is out in Hillsboro. And then actually you can't process anything on farmland outside of Portland. So legally, like, even washing an apple is considered processing. So you have to have a separate processing facility, which ours is in Clackamas. And so that's where we do we cook everything, we package everything, like everything that happens outside of the farm happens in that warehouse, which is really cool. When I joined the company, we were teeny tiny, and I walked into this massive warehouse. It literally felt like Steve Jobs, in a garage, like starting something that felt crazy. 2 little desks in the corner, and I was like, why the fuck do these people have this much space? Like, what are they going to do with it? And then, like, fast forward to October 21st, 2021, today, and we've outgrown it. Like, it's pretty crazy to witness, but it's still a super small, tight-knit group of people doing what we do, loving what we do, working our asses off to try to get the word out about these little candies, because they're awesome. And there's our entire team has so much soul and so much grit and loves this industry. And I think that it's just been really, really exciting to be a part of it all. And I feel really grateful to just have a pulse on something that feels so exciting. We can barely cook fast enough to keep up with how much people fucking love these shows.
Yes. I mean, I could listen. Sometimes we wait 2-3 days before we hear back from y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. No.
Keep doing your numbers. We ain't mad. Shit.
Yeah. I try to get you your order as soon as I possibly can.
No,
but
I know you're gonna take care of us. No, hey, tripping. We good. We good on this side. We good. But one thing that I definitely want to make sure I reflect on before signing off or whatever, is the women in cannabis. So I was reading up on the Forbes article, and it was published March 2019. A little outdated, a little not outdated. So I'm gonna just read a couple snippets.
A little outdated, a little not outdated.
That sweet spot right there. Yeah. You can't. You might have forgot it, but you might have remembered what you did that day.
Yeah.
Either or. So I'm gonna read a couple of lines and kind of give my 2 cents, and then have you do the same, or just give you 2 cents. But after studying 106 cannabis businesses in 17 states across the United States, Vanks found that 38.5% of the employees questioned self-identified as females. Interestingly, in Pennsylvania, the performance, of course, just to give a little context, it wasn't focused on like one area or like Oregon or Cali or Colorado. It was just overall. So the proportion reached 66% in favor of females. So that's to say that 38% overall, 66 in Philly, in Pennsylvania. Sorry,
66% female.
Yes.
Wow.
Go figure. But I have, I'll put my 2 cents in a second. Okay. And then while this number is higher than those for industries like construction, which boasts 9% female participation, tech 20%, agriculture 25%, beverage and tobacco 26%, it still stands below some more women-oriented industries like real estate, 49.9%. And education,
66% though.
I think they were talking about the 38% number. They're not comparing. They're comparing the overall, not the Pennsylvania number.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, because for a second there, my stoner brain went to that same thought. I was like, hold up.
So it's like overall 38% women, like across the board in the 100 companies
in the U.S.
Yeah.
Pennsylvania, though, in general, is 66%.
Yeah, that is so.
So you could probably say that Penn in this scenario would make up a big part of it. More than half, apparently. Sadly, only 17.6% of these women in cannabis companies held a director or executive role. Mm-hmm. So this compares to 82.4% for self-identified males. Wow. 17% to 80%. Mm-hmm. That's all I'm going to say. That obviously with 82.4, sorry. But that discrepancy is insane to me. And, I wanted to highlight that for this reason. I don't know what episode it was. I think it was 23, if I'm not mistaken. But I had a young lady on, and she was actually the one of the three heads of the. I don't know if you know Astral Treats at all. Astral.
Yeah.
They're fairly new, but hey, somehow I was able to get her on the platform,
Cool.
and you know, to me that was special.
Yeah.
Because look at what I just read. It's literally 60% skewed the other way. And in the end of the day, like you know, last week I spoke on the statistic for people of color. It's less than 5% owners in the of color. So it's like there's so many demographics that are getting put to the side in this industry, and it's like these are the people literally in the front lines.
Yeah.
You know, these are the people that you might see every time you walk into some spot or walk into a cannabis-like function. So it's like, to me, it was very, very, very important that I got you on because you represent the 30%, and you're killing it. Like if you were the 30%, you're the 1% of the 30%. You know what I mean? And you know, I say that really lightly. You know what I mean? I say that with all love and respect, you know, because you deserve that. And like, you know, every chance that I could get to, you know, have a young lady in the cannabis industry, give her 2 cents I'm all game because in the end of the day, like woman's essential. You know what I mean? Like woman is essential, and like just in general. So like the fact that there could be a notion that, you know, women would be weaker in the cannabis industry, it just doesn't add up, because we're not selling fucking golf memberships to a bunch of old guys. We're selling weed to people that know they want to smoke the shit. So like it shouldn't matter what a person identifies as, quote unquote. It's like, yo, do you want it or not?
Yeah.
You know, and like I said, I also do hope that through my platform, we could break that stigma a little bit. And through my platform, it might be a woman that listens like, yo, I'm gonna go work in the cannabis industry and kill it now. Cause I can and I should. Like we can't keep these statistics where it's at. Like it's just really hard for it to be conducive to the overall plan when it's supposed to be all inclusive, allegedly, right?
I mean, I think that we are battling against a system that has been in place for so long across so many industries. I keep talking about my past industry, but it's because I've, you know, all I've really ever known. And that was, you know, a perfect example of just that. It was so hard for me as a young woman and to make it in that industry and to prove myself. And I feel like I had to go above and beyond to gain respect from the folks that worked for me and the people and my colleagues that I worked amongst. That being said, I think that this is a pivotal moment. And I think that now is the time for us to really be that change and
champion it.
And champion it. Yeah, I guess that's a great way to say it. I mean, I think that for us specifically, my wife and I both work for Drops. So we are two powerful, badass women in this industry. And I think
shouts out to y'all, by the way, man. Shouts out to y'all, man. I hope love is in the air for me someday.
Yeah, it is.
Allegedly.
Yeah, but no, I look at the company that I work for, and so many. I don't know. I haven't done the math. I haven't taken the percentages, but so many of the people in our company are female identifying folks that work their fucking asses off, and I'm so proud to work amongst them. They're a bunch of
some straight hustlers. Hustlers. Look, listen, and I'll give you your flowers because the other day I was seeing you ushering in the next wave. You know what I mean? I see you out there. You know, listen, like I said, each one teach one.
Yeah.
Like, the more you carry that into your vibe while you in the industry gonna bless you. You know, I forgot who. You know, it's a gentleman I watch a lot on YouTube. Mr. Steve the Dean Williams. He says he said something today to the tune of, if you stay true to the game gonna stay true to you. So in the end of the day, like that's a mantra right there. Like the more good you put out, good gonna come right the fuck back. And then you gonna look at it, you gonna have so much good. You're like, God damn, what did I do to deserve this? You know, as opposed to you have so much bad, you're like, what the fuck did I do to deserve this? You know, it's a whole different vibe when you're looking at it from both sides of the spectrum, you know, and it's like, man, it's so dope to be in this industry, man, because it's like I know and listen, I know for a fact I burnt that bridge when I first started this. And I didn't give a fuck. Look, I worked at Walgreens. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna say the words. But listen, coming to the cannabis industry was a total paradigm shift. And one that I feel like was so necessary. Because like even on my bad days, I know that there could be one person I could walk through that door and I could share a laugh with, act a fool with for a little second or two.
Yeah.
You know, that bad day is forgotten.
Yeah.
I'm not hell bent on what time it is. I'm continuing, you know.
Yeah, not checking your watch, wondering when you're getting out of there. And I think that, you know, I think something I touched on earlier, but it comes to mind when we talk about this again. Like, yes, I think that I can't help but still continue to see myself as a person of privilege. I'm a white woman. Yes, I'm a woman, but the numbers that you read earlier on were specifically talking about people of color in this industry. And so I think that it's important for all of us to really recognize, not me hold on to the fact that I am a woman, which I am. I'm a female identifying person, but I think that continuing to see that, like, how can we all advance and how can we all move forward in this industry in equitable ways, and not just me stay pigeonholed on like how can ladies get ahead, but how can we all make it a more equitable place and more equitable place, and that people want to work and
absolutely, because
move up.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I mean that's really all I was saying. I try for myself to, recognize my privilege, and then also recognize that, like, yes, I'm also part of this other minority group that is whatever, but I think lesser than, like I said, the numbers you read off.
Allegedly. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, like the people of color, you said 5%, and that probably embodies
less
women
than 5%.
And people of color. So that is even a smaller percentage. So that's, for me, I think we just need to do a better job of creating these equitable workspaces.
Let me be honest. I mean, me, when I first was before I made my move to Oregon, like, I was really sold the bill of goods. People told me all the worst things, from, oh, it's racist, it's this, is that. I wouldn't know it. I walk outside my house. I don't worry about a motherfucking nobody trying to rob me, nobody trying to do wrong by me. Yo, it's people that leave their doors unlocked out here. And hey, listen, YouTube, that's not me saying check these doors to make sure they locked or not. Stop ourselves, because I ain't gonna take that. I ain't taking that L for y'all. Fuck out of here. But all I'm saying is that in New York, I wasn't scared to death, but these is things that like if I was leaving my house past 11, I had to I had to almost second guess it, because I'm like, hold up, like, the energies is liable to be out there. Here,
weighing out the pros and cons.
Here, past 11 o'clock, you get a motherfucking pin drop, and I love it. You probably hear me walking out there at some point, and you probably stay wherever you stay. But that's to show that it's a level of tranquility. It's a level of laissez-faire. Like, people know, okay, this is my corner, and if you don't come around my corner, you can stay you can bug out in your corner, and if our corners don't meet, what the fuck? We singing Kumbaya like that, know, and that's why, like, it's insane, like, just how to I like to receive it. I like to champion it as, I was just received, by the cannabis industry, showing mad love from Oregon. I came out here with a suitcase and my my Nike backpack on as a carry-on. And it's like, where I'm at now, it's like I would have never thought it would have been like this when I made the move. So, like, in the end of the day, like, I was sold a bill of goods, man. I'm out here living the life, man. And people, it's been people that I've been advocating, like, yo, like, y'all might want to check out other areas, and get out of New York. Yeah. Because you could go to Utah and live the life you want to live. Maybe you have a couple of dollars in your pocket. You go right by the mountains. Yo, I've seen some of these views. Like it's surreal. It's surreal. Like it literally changes your mental because when you're in the same area where you feel like you packed in like a bunch of rats. And you know there's on top of that you got the energies of the people being off. It's like it's too much to kind of deal with. You know what I mean? And out here, man, the only headaches I get is from a long day of work. Once I'm off work, I'm shit. Yeah, and you see the lights is on, right?
Yeah. No, that's good. I don't know if that's the experience that everybody has. I feel like, you know, I would hope that we get to the place that is. Oregon historically is not the most diverse place. Portland more so than other areas.
Hey,
but
listen, I'm gonna bring diversity to this motherfucker.
Yeah.
Listen, there's no Dominican spots. There's no Dominican restaurants. There's no Dominican delis. We're gonna bring all of that. Y'all just wait.
What's a Dominican deli all about?
Listen.
What's it like? What do you get at a Dominican? Like, what's a classic Dominican deli sandwich?
So technically, you could go a couple directions with it. You know, you could go with the morisoñando. So morisoñando is like a orange juice that you actually mix in with some milk and there's some sugar. Real good stuff. Real good.
Like
stuff.
Orange creamsicle.
There you go. But with drink, you know, it's a drink.
Yeah.
You could get the tres golpe. So the tres golpe is like mashed plantains with some sunny side up eggs, or if you like medium eggs.
You're right. There is no Dominican spot here. Is there? I'm gonna have to look.
There might be 5 Dominicans in Oregon, and I'm one of them.
Yeah, there's got to be some. Well, maybe not. There was. Yeah.
I know I met one personally. That's why I'm gonna say maybe he got a couple of his family members out here too. You know, maybe.
I mean, I'm talking about like a restaurant or like a
no. I mean, if you want to think of cuisine wise, like think of like Cuban cuisine.
Yeah.
But even then, like it's not a direct correlation, but there's similarities in both cuisines. That would be the closest you could get. Because even like the you know, I live right by a little Puerto Rican spot out here. I will not be plugging them in because I am not happy with the quality of their stuff, man. And if Mama said, if I ain't got nothing nice to say, don't say nothing at all.
There you go.
All I'm gonna say is I've tried it, and you know, seeing what the cuisine there is, it's like, yeah, it's not authentic, you know. So when you're eating somewhere where the cuisine isn't authentic, like you fucked up already. Like it's hard, you know, like.
Yeah,
you want to turn a 0-star rating to a 5 and nothing happened. You know what I mean? It's not possible. So you know, but like I said, we're gonna bring all of those businesses. Watch, I'm telling you, man. Listen, we gonna bring some Dominicans out here, man.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, listen, like you know, I'm very much what the fuck? I'm sorry. I'm very much of the school of, you know, you bring a village together, something might be able to happen.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, we're gonna try to bring villages together.
There's people out here. Yeah, I think Portland's actually really good at it. Like in my experience in my food industry group of folks, like everyone loves supporting super small, you know, more ethnic restaurants that are not like the hot shit out there. Like I live out on 82nd and I love supporting all the Vietnamese.
You live on 82nd, yo, you lit. Yo, I love 82nd, man.
Yeah, I know. But all the taquerias and like all the Vietnamese aunties cooking up the best pho and like beef noodle soup.
What? I don't really like, you know, I don't really get into the Thai and all of that. I'm good on all that. But what I do like is the Hawaiian food, though. That is palette right there all the way. Oh, like I was actually gonna go get some after this, but it's like pouring out there. I'm good.
Is it already? It's not pouring over here.
Must be nice.
Clear skies.
So if it's in Beaverton, it's coming to you real quick.
Yeah. Oh, you're in Beaverton.
Yes, I am in Beaverton, allegedly.
Allegedly.
From a remote location.
Yeah. I'm from a remote location over here in Foster Powell.
Let's go. There we go.
On that note, though, I gotta run.
Yeah, no, I was just about to. Damn, girl. Damn.
I didn't even see the time.
Nah, hey, listen. Conversation was fire, sis. I appreciate you joining
Thank you
us.
so much for having me.
Once again, you know, I would like that somehow we could all kind of work together.
Yeah.
You know, I will reach out through the DM of, you know, your peoples, let them know to, you know, look out for the episode. You know, I did plug them in a lot. This was free promo drops. Y'all better get right, man. Y'all, hey, man, them advertisement dollars, man. You ain't paid for this one. So, you know, y'all already know where to reach out to me, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Instagram. For the YouTube people, I'm gonna let Karlie give her a final message if she has one. Go ahead and tell the people where to find you and all that.
My final message, gosh, I don't know. My final
Hey, smoke weed every day.
Oh yeah, smoke weed every day. That's for sure. That I mean,
smoke weed, eat drops.
I don't know. Go get some drops. They're delicious. Not that this is a like, you know, advertisement or anything, but it's what I'm doing right now. This guy knows what it's all about. And then support your local businesses more than anything. You know, whether it be your local restaurant, your local I don't know, dispensary, whatever it might be, your car mechanic. Make sure that you're supporting the people that have struggled throughout the last 2 years. And I know that I've felt it in different capacities, and that everyone out there is working their ass off, and we got to take care of each other. So I would just say support local businesses and stay high.
Yes. And once again, I'm a preface or end it by saying, thanks again. You know, it's always a pleasure to be able to, you know, have people that of your ilk, you know, just people in the industry. You know, I the other day was Butt Tenders Day. I would have loved to have had somebody that I had in the line, but you know, stuff don't link up like that sometimes. You know, literally yesterday, right? It was Butt Tenders Day, the 20th. I didn't even know that was great. Yeah, look, I'm like, man, I only knew because, you know, Instagram will let you know about everything.
Yeah.
Everything you don't want to know, everything you do want to know. But outside of that, once again, sis, I do look forward to, you know, future endeavors. You know, my line is open. You have my personal line. Any way that, you know, I could personally help the brand, or you personally, you let me know. And other than that, I'm going to let you get to it, sis. Thank you so much. And to the YouTube,
much love. Love you guys.